Excuse me, give me that mic. Thank you. Anyway, first and foremost, I would like to thank myself for being amazing. Thank you, self. I would like to thank all the people I had to step on to get here, because you know, heat rises and a bitch is hot. I'm up to the top.
I just wanna chill around positive vibes. Nothing negative, it would fuck up my vibe and blowing my heart. I just wanna sit back and chill and just sip wine. I came from a dark place, now I'm living that life.
I am intentional, I am abundant. I bring to existence all that I want, and I done tapped into the God in me. Cut my locks off and switched up the vibe in me. Like how I manifest within, how I choose to defend. Who I label my friends, how I make amends. Cause I'm choosing laughter, it's peace that I'm after. I abracadabra, then poof, chakras blast off. My soul take this cast off, projection surpass all. Obsidian protection in case this trip lasts long. I see with 3 eyes, that's why my crown headstrong. Corona is viral to spirits living dead wrong
I just
vibration.
wanna chill around positive vibes. Nothing negative, it will fuck up my vibe.
Peace, y'all. Sunshine Monet here, and I just want to talk to y'all about the natal tarot readings that I do. It's about 66 to 99-minute videos that I send to you that you can download at any time to your leisure and watch as many times as you like. In this video, I go over your elemental placements, your masculine and feminine energy placements, where your houses are and what that means. And then in addition to that, I'll go over your 3 natal charts. That is your tropical, which deals with your mind, your sidereal, which deals with your heart, and the nakshatras, which deals with your gut. When we go over those 3 charts, I pull a card for each of the planets. So say we talk about the sun. We're going to talk about what zodiac the sun is in and what house it's in your tropical, your sidereal, and then we go over the nakshatra placement that the sun is in. And then I pull a tarot card, and then we move on to the next entity. So let me know if you're interested. I'm here to heal.
We sit with him and rest.
We rank, we claim, we train, we ordain to be something different. We rank, we claim, we train, we ordain to manifest intentions. Created in God's own image, reflections of eternal vision. Personified with my third eye, hidden from enemies on a mission. That's why I fear no evil. They bow down to my ego. Shout out, nobody's called me go. Got my heart full of calm and ego. 50 shades of letting me go. Coming through into Keto. Brand new, turn a gray skies blue. 6'3", not abused, my view bonito. So gracious, this time and space, how I made it. We jump for joy, we elated. Discipline with 50 gates and roof shot the grounded, nothing taken except what's my creation. Created, then donated. The culture's inflated, giving elevation and space is stagnated. Cause we healers over here. Breathing pillars, holding tears. Instilling us all 10 spheres. Inshallah, we attracting our mirrors. In our hearts, we blocking all interference. Know who IDs is needed for clearance. Cause the mission reflect our attention and let it rain on through our appearance.
Peace, peace, y'all. Welcome to the Planetary Forecast with your goddess Sunshine Monet L. I'm very happy to be here. Happy solstice. We made it to the end of it, and that's pretty exciting. We got some really dope things happening in the cosmos this week, especially today. Today is a really big day in the cosmos, so it's a beautiful divine alignment that I am here with you guys today, and I'm very happy to be here. For those of you guys that are tapped in on Instagram, you guys can catch the full video on my YouTube page, Less Nobodies, where you guys can get the full experience of the presentation and the different things that you guys can screenshot and all that fun stuff. And as I try to get myself together, I'm just gonna keep dropping my phone. But yes, you guys can definitely catch me on YouTube. The shot is better, the seeing and hearing is better, the visuals are just better. So yeah, let's get started. Let's pull this joint up. Welcome. We are here. And let me make this a comfortable experience for myself. Peace, pieces. Thank you for pulling up. At the end of this planetary forecast, we will be doing a reading because it is Wednesday. It is the hump day reading. So I'm just gonna put it all together in one for us. All right. I'm gonna pull a card for each of our chakras, and that's gonna be that. All right. So I'm gonna get the deck ready now because I'm gonna pull it as I'm doing the forecast. I think that'll be like a really cool vibe. I was feeling that today. Like, ooh, that's where I'm at. That's where I feel. If you guys can hear me okay, if you can't hear me okay, just let me know. I can make arrangements. I know we are in the shadows of the retrograde. Communication is weird right now. Definitely experienced that this morning. But yeah, so for those of you guys who do not know, I go by the Neteroos as well as the Kabbalah in terms of the spheres of life, the name of those spheres, and aligning the planets and our chakra centers and things with those said spheres. So these are some of the visuals. We had the pleasure of having the creator of the middle photograph on the show a couple weeks ago in the comments. Thank you for tapping in, and we appreciate you for your artwork because this visual is freaking beautiful. Really love it. Thank you. But that is what I have. This is the energy that we go by. I'm just gonna use my finger because I keep losing my mouse. All right. And as far as when you guys hear me speak on the chakras, so every chakra you have has a feminine and masculine side. Okay. The feminine side of that chakra is internal. How are you dealing with it in the inside? What's computing in the inside for you? And then when we deal with the masculine side of your chakra, we're dealing with your experiences. How are you putting out that energy? How is that energy being put out around you? All right, your external selves. These are the zodiac energies that rule over your feminine side. Cancer, Gemini, Taurus, Aries, Pisces, Aquarius. Those are all feminine energies within these chakras. Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn. Those are all masculine, all external experiences. Okay. We have the chakras on the side, giving you, definitions of each chakras, which we will get in more depth with as we get into the chakras. But these are essentially like what they are, their Vedic name, their name in English, the planet, and what they rule over. And then we also have our 4 elements. As you know, here at Less Nobodies, we actually go by the 5 elements. We add ethers to our elements because ethers are important, right? With our ether elements, so just giving you guys a little backdrop information for you guys to take with you. As far as a fire energy goes, so say we have a chakra and it has some of these placements in it, a Sagittarius, Leo, or Aries energy, that means that you have fire in that chakra. Overall, I do the universe. Now, if you want a one-on-one based upon your natal chart and things like that, you guys can book me for a consultation and we could do that. But as far as fire goes, fire is in alignment with the Wands tarot cards. Okay, it's also in alignment with Mars, and it brings on the sense of sight and the action of motion. It also produces fire, electricity, and energy. The vibes that you can feel from this is spontaneity, being reactive, assertive, impulsive, pride, passion, courage, creativity, positive charges, and masculine. Just be mindful of the confrontational energy and being impatient.
As far as earth energy, if you see any of these signs in any of the chakras, that means that there is earth energy there. That brings on the energy of being grounded, practical, reliable, independent. We're talking about the cardinal Capricorn, which is the initiator, the worker bee Virgo, which is our mutable and our fixed Taurus energy, all right, which, you know, is all about production, productivity. Mercury brings on the sense of smell. It's all about excretions and bringing things into the solid, so producing solids. That's what you could expect from earth energy. It's associated with the Pentacles tarot suit. This is the vibe of collecting and building, being reliable, practical, sensual, materialistic, cautious, grounded, attached to physical senses, being resourceful, and also being in control in order to feel safe. This is a feminine energy, receptive, and also negative charge. I'm sorry, fire is masculine. I don't know if I communicated that, but it's a positively charged energy. Now, air is associated with Saturn. This brings on the sense of touch, action of manual skill in producing gases. The signs associated with that is the cardinal Gemini, the fixated Libra, and the mutable Aquarius. Swords is the tarot card associated with set energy. This brings on the vibes of being intellectual, detached, fair-minded, and humanitarian, social, masculine, also the yang to the yin and yang, being positive charged and masculine. Now with air, it's the need of encouragement to express emotions freely. All right. Water is associated with Venus. This brings on the sense of taste. All right. Also the action of generation and producing liquids. Okay. All things occur in liquids, right? From conception to thoughts, because your brain is in a pool of liquid, to, you know, a human being being in the womb and liquid, and we're currently in liquid right now. Everything is liquid, all right? Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces are the zodiac energies associated with this. We're talking about the Cups tarot, all right? Fluid, emotional, intuitive, nurturing, perceptive, psychic, and understanding are some of the vibes you can expect from water beings, water nature. Feminine, yin, also being receptive and negatively charged. They seek deeper meaning in things and feel their way through situations. This is all about feeling and being led by the heart and emotions. Now, last and most certainly not least, you know, here we utilize ether as a element as well. This is our fifth element. Ether is associated with Jupiter, and that is the sense of hearing, also the action of making sound, and you can produce space here with this vibe. So that's what I have for you as far as the elements go, the chakras and the astrology associations, and it being masculine and feminine, internal and experiences and all that stuff. As far as the chakra planetary alignment, you guys know I align the planets and the zodiacs to your chakras, where they are and what they are. If you would like this done to you personally on your natal chart or relationship chart or your child's natal chart, you know, all that fun stuff, I can do all of that. Just make sure that you book with me. We also get into the earth chakras and their role on earth. It's something that's called astrocartography, where you can get into the places that where you were born at based upon your natal chart, where the planets were situated across the map as we know it, and like where you can go for certain kind of experiences, certain kind of vibes, etc., etc. It's a whole thing, and it's a fun thing. Now we can get started. As far as our root chakra goes, this is our Muladhara. Mula meaning root and Adhara meaning existence. Okay. This is located at the base of your spine. It brings on the vibes of being grounded, disciplined, order, boundaries, authority, survival of self. Okay. Those are some of the frequencies you could play, the note on the piano, all that stuff like that is listed there. As far as our external self, our experiences and things like that, actually, I want to start with the feminine side. The feminine side of our root chakra, we have Saturn, the 7th house, and the moon in that vibe. All right. The Saturn is supposed to be the vibes of the air, the moon, peace. The moon is the vibes of water. The 7th house dealing with that Libra energy of air. So a lot of air, more so air than water, is sitting on the feminine side of your root chakra. Correct?
This is not self of knowledge. You're dealing with the first sphere, which is unity and the power to be. And with it being in alignment with so much air, definitely going inward and gaining intellect. That intellect that you gain is going to provide you with some discipline, some order. It's going to assist you in establishing those boundaries and being of authority. But it's not going to come without that knowledge, without that intellect, without you doing the work and doing the studying. Study self, study surroundings, study relationships, study bonds, study patterns, all those different things. That's how they're going to come to you. It's not just going to come to you because you're sitting there concentrating on it. You have to study, study, study. You have to edify yourself. As far as if you are in alignment inward, going inward, with that energy, your external experiences, we have Mercury, which is an earth energy, Venus also being an earth energy. We have Pluto, which is a water energy, the sun a fire energy, and the sixth house is another earth energy. So a lot of your experiences are going to come into your decision making skills, definitely with that Mercury and that sixth house vibe. That controls your decision making skills, your habits, your patterns on a daily basis, your health and fitness, all that fun stuff, how you're manifesting things, the patterns you're allowing yourself to go through, all that fun stuff is going to be in your experiences. So all that study on the outside of self is going to change your experiences. It's just going to change your patterns. It's going to change the way you communicate, the way you learn. It's also going to change your self-esteem with that Venus energy. That's all about wealth and self-esteem, how you feel about yourself, how you look at yourself, all that fun stuff. And when you know more, it does naturally make you feel good. It makes sense. It's, kind of common sense kind of energy. And that's what you'll find a lot in the cosmos. A lot of it is things that are common sense that we don't think about it in detail or deeply. We just, move around about it. But once you start to learn about it more in detail, it brings a different sense of appreciation and awareness to the energy. So I know a lot of stuff sounds like, oh, of course that's happening, duh. Yeah, but learn to look at it from a different aspect, and you'll be able to have a different level of appreciation to it. There's a lot of cosmos working in your favor to have this basic experience that is just so easy to overlook for you. Congratulations. In addition to that, we have the sun here. So your ego is also sitting here. So when you're learning, absorbing, your outer self, your how you present yourself, how you put yourself out there, your ego, how you manifest your experiences, they're all going to be affected by how you provide yourself with that edification, how that going for you. So, going inward, study on outward, experience all those experiences, change some of them patterns and things like that. And like I told you, I'm gonna pull a card for this. Also, the overall energy over our root chakra, we know is Saturn, right? That's the energy of Babalue. And Babalue actually is currently in Shango energy, which is the feminine side of the root chakra, Aquarian energy at 21 degrees. So we're in that mutable Aquarian energy, being flexible with the air, okay? Being flexible with the social interactions, the detachments, being, humanitarian, giving, learning how to communicate your intellect and all that different stuff. That's going to be the overall challenge. That's also what a lot of these boundaries is going to be built on and built off of and based on and in spite of and despite of. And I'm pretty sure some of you guys can see that in your space. A lot of you guys are changing your social circles, who you choose to give your time to and things like that. And a lot of that's going to come from you, enlightening yourself and being more aware of the patterns and people, places, and things that are going around with said enlightenment. And as you guys know, if you guys are checking me out on YouTube, I don't just go over the tropical chart. I also go over the Vedic chart. So a lot of these energies are still in the root chakra. They're just backwards. So, in the tropical chart, you have Mercury and side of Capricorn. In the Vedic chart, it's in Sagittarian at 29 degrees, okay? Venus, we have it in the tropical chart in Capricorn. And the Vedic chart is still in Sagittarius at 27 degrees. And Pluto, we have in the tropical chart of Capricorn, but in the Vedic chart, it is still in it actually just entered Capricorn at 2 degrees. It's been in Capricorn for a while, but Pluto moves slow as shit. The sun is in the tropical chart of Capricorn. In the Vedic chart, it's still in Sagittarius at 11 degrees. So it's at fixed Sagittarius. And we know that the tropical chart is all about the mind. That's why it's considered imaginary lines. This is what we imagine. These are fixed lines in our mind, okay? So this is thought process. Tropical chart is all about thought process. Yes, both charts are equally as important. So our thought process is
our thought process, experience are a lot in this realm. Now, the Vedic chart, which we're dealing with actual physical constellations and not the imaginary lines of the 360, dealing with the actual physical constellations in alignment with our behaviors. How are we still moving? So while your mind is on being that cardinal energy, taking that initiative, which makes sense because we just got out of the solstice. So a lot of people are like fired up, getting more, sunlight. The sun actually has been pretty popping since we exited out the solstice. I don't know if y'all noticed, but baby is ready to shine. In addition to that, also walking into the new year, a lot of people are getting their New Year's resolutions in order. You guys actually should have been writing those and manifesting those while in the womb through the solstice. That was the time to do that. And keeping it 100 with you, I would most definitely engage in Kwanzaa if Kwanzaa was being done during the solstice and not after. And I say that because when you think about the practice of Kwanzaa and the spells with Kwanzaa, lighting, red candles for your root chakra is beautiful. Lighting green candles for your heart chakra, beautiful. Lighting a black candle for stability and communication between the two realms, fucking beautiful. Why wouldn't you do that during the solstice when the veil is at its thinnest, when we are in the womb? We should be, applying those Kwanzaa concepts during that time. To spend the solstice paying attention to a Russian ancestor and then wait until the solstice is over after you got done shrining out your entire house. You made a whole altar, like a Christmas tree with ornaments and lights. That's an altar. Call it whatever you want. It's an altar. And you have milk and cookies, which is you feeding their ancestors, giving them the energy they need to keep doing their bullshit around the world. For those of you guys that have been following Virgo Virgin Talk, we've definitely been touching on the descendants of Yafet. So that's who Russians are. They're descendants of Yafet, and you do those biblical stories. You go ahead and enlighten yourself how you will, and absorb and apply that as you will. But with that being said, like, it just makes no sense to me. You guys putting all that energy towards Russian ancestors during the solstice, and then wait until after the solstice to start wanting to concentrate on unity and work ethic. Like, huh? What? Huh? I'm not a fan. But yeah, I would definitely do Kwanzaa like in the beginning of the solstice, and that way, what is it, if the solstice begins at the 21st and it's 7 days of Kwanzaa, I'll be done by the 28th. Yeah, I'll take that, because then like I get a couple days of rest, and then the Gregorian calendar New Year's is right there. That makes way more sense to me. I don't know, y'all let me know what y'all think. I'm not a fan. I don't celebrate Kwanzaa around this time. I don't know, I just don't like being told what to do. And it's very deep. But yeah, let me pull a card for this root chakra though. I think it's really dope that there are red candles being burnt during this time to give those, intentions of establishing, some sort of foundation in our foundation. But yeah, dear angels, deities, ancestors in this universe, the last and the next. I come to you humbly and wholeheartedly to pull cards for this planetary forecast. I thank you for utilizing me as a medium piece for this communication. May this reading be absorbed and applied as intended. Ashe, Amin, Amen. Yeah, let's do that. I'll do that with you next year, Celia. I think that it will be cool that way. That just makes more sense to me. I will definitely do it with you. Put a pin in that. Make sure I put that in my calendar. We're gonna start Kwanzaa December 21st because we're rebels. All right. As far as our root chakra goes, we have a reverse tower card. So we're in the process of building, but the thing is not built yet. And that makes sense. We're in the middle of winter. Like, I know everybody's fired up and ready to start doing a whole bunch of stuff, but it's not time to do a whole bunch of stuff yet because we're literally in the middle of winter. Like, it's good to start waking up. That's what's supposed to be like it's kind of like when you stop using your throat chakra for a long time and you finally start using it and you're just like screaming everywhere. That's probably what it feels like right now, that your kundalini, your sympathetic, mechanism was in the dry and cold, but now it's starting to get a little wet. So like it's probably, like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. But at the same token, it's just like you want to like ease it a little bit. Like, hey, I know we getting hype, but chill the fuck out. Like it's this still ain't that. This is, and all that energy that you're using could definitely be used more so towards you imagining the daily life you want to receive. Like right now, the sixth house is in your root chakra. So yeah, manifest that shit. It's time, this is the space. The sixth house is in your root chakra, and the seventh house of one-on-one relationships, bonds, partnerships, all those things that's sitting in your root chakra right now. So if you have a vision of how you want your romantic life to be, how you want your one-on-one relations to be, some of the contracts and the bonds and the business partnerships you got going on, or you want to have going on, this is a beautiful time to go ahead and think about them. Think about them heavily. Breathe like you living in them. I've been attracting a lot of really positive and uplifting messages today, about like breathing like you're already existing in that space that you want to be in, right? Really write it out in detail, how you want that day to go. How does it feel? How does it smell? What does it sound like? What are you doing on a daily basis? Like me, I want to wake up and I want to feed my animals. I want to go outside barefoot and play in my garden with my babies. Thank you. I wanna do my lives, my podcasts. I want to be stress free. I want to be financially free. I want to be, politically free. Uh, you know, and I want my sons to have that freedom as well with me. So those are things, I get even more in detail with myself, but like you get the gist of where I'm going with that. And that's really, what's going on in your root chakra. It's like, I know you want to build, and I know. As soon as you think something, you want it to happen, you want to start rolling up your sleeves and start putting in all the hours and the time, but it's not time yet. It's not. And the more you try to do it now, the more resistance you're going to feel. It's going to be so hard because this is not the stage for that. You know what I'm saying? This is not the part of year to do that. And when I speak to you, I'm speaking to myself too. I am getting a little impatient with the thoughts and the thinking, and I'm ready to, materialize as well. So, it's no judgment here. It's really assurance for all of us. Like, it's okay. It's okay. The worst part about it is the fact that we live in a matrix that teaches us that we're supposed to feel like, for us, for our kind of people, they make us feel like we're supposed to act like it's July all year round. And it's not July all year round for us. In the wintertime, we're supposed to either be nomads or hibernate. You pick your poison. And if, it just doesn't work that way. Like when you're in alignment with nature, when you decide to sign up for something that has you moving against nature, you're going to be tired. It's going to be a struggle. It's going to be hard to maintain and obtain certain things because it's just out of alignment with nature. It's out of alignment with the way the cosmos are trying to move for you, or how the cosmos just move in general. So that's what's happening there. Now we can get into the sacral chakra, which is a svastikana. This is also called where your being is established. It's located below the navel, above the pubic bone. It brings on the vibes of generosity, luck, wisdom, pleasure seeking, joy, creativity, sensual energy, sexual energy, all that fun stuff. If you guys check me out on YouTube, you guys can see the frequencies, the notes on the piano, the shades of orange. It is a pyramid that is there. And let's get into the feminine side. So the feminine side is Mayat. We're dealing with Olukun, okay? This is universal love, law, justice. This is this fourth sphere in the tree of life, which brings on the energy of balance in the celestial government. Neptune, as far as the tropical chart goes, we have Neptune over there in Pisces energy. And the Vedic chart is still in Aquarius. So our subconscious, our mindset, our secrets, our dreams, all those intangible things. See, when you're dealing with Neptune, you're starting to deal with energy outside of the physical, energy outside of the tangible, if you will, if that makes sense. But yeah, this deals with your inspirations, your psychic identity, also rules over your nervous system and your thalamus, and any type of like addictions that affect your brain, like drug addictions, which is mostly everything, because everything kind of, you know, triggers or ignites or invokes certain neuron transmitters, sugar and all that stuff like that. So, you know, pretty much everything. But this definitely rules over your subconscious energy. As far as it being in pleasure seeking, like even like tapping into spirit, being in that meditative space, like expanding yourself in realms of spirituality, all of that stuff is pleasurable at this moment to those who are in alignment with this energy. And it's, as far as it being in Aquarius on the Vedic chart, that's pretty cool because it being there, it's like it's affecting your behavior as far as your social settings go. Like, how are you socializing with other people? How are you, you know, applying this to your activism? You know, things like that. But yeah, pleasure seeking, you know, is definitely tapped into your subconscious. Your dreams are starting to really have some effect on your decision making mind, as far as being in a space where it's like I had a, you know how certain things are not going to your liking in your physical life, and then you go to sleep and you dream about it, and it's kind of taking a play on some of your fears or your thoughts or things you want to do, whatever, and then you wake up and you act on it, and it feels good when you act on it. That's that Neptune and Pisces, also in Aquarius vibe. That's essentially what that is. You know, start listening to your dreams, keep a dream journal, and not just the dreams that you fall asleep late at night and, you know, sometimes don't remember, but also your daydreams when you find yourself like mentally just drifting off. What are you drifting off about? Where are you at? Where are you going? All that fun stuff. Like, you know, really start paying attention to those things because they matter. They matter. They're not just escapes, they're directions. It's a map. Juno is also over here in our feminine side, and that's fun. Juno is like the energy that we overlook in ourselves. Actually, no, I'm sorry. Wrong spot. That was Pallas. Juno is associated with Hera. You know, Hera was the wife of Zeus or whatever. So Juno brings on the energy of like bonds, wombs that come into those bonds, maternal energy, woman type energy, and all that fun stuff. And you know, with the whole story with Hera and stuff like that, she was, you know, kept getting her feelings hurt and stuff like that. She was very addicted to Zeus for some reason. It was crazy bond there. And so when you look at your natal chart, you'll find out what area in your life, like, what do you need in a relationship for you to have the sense of loyalty that Hera had for Zeus? What's going to put you over the edge and have you turning women and their sons into bears and throwing them into the sky? Like, what is it? Right now for us is tapped in the spirit, being in that Piscean energy, being tapped into that vibe of, you know, your subconscious, paying attention to your dreams, paying attention to your dreams and the voices in your head and all those things, just like that divine alignment. Vesta is also sitting over here on the feminine side of your sacral chakra. Vesta is the energy of your passions. Okay, this is the energy of like, if you're not engaging in the actual act of sex, what are you doing with your energy? What are you, where is your energy usually going? You know, what gives you the same satisfaction as that action? And if you want to think about it from a neuroscientific point of view, it's the same exact neurons that go off in your mind when you're engaging in sex. These same exact neurons will go off when you're engaging in this activity. So really right now it's meditation. It's meditation, it's praying, it's that edification that you're providing yourself, is listening to your dreams, is tapped into your subconscious, listening to your body when your body says, no, I'm not doing this. No, I'm not going here. No, I'm not doing that. Also, the 8th house of transformation is in this space. So it's a lot of transformation occurring in the feminine side of your sacral chakra. It's also taking power over the feminine side of your sacral chakra. Like, you know, if I want to feel joy, if I want to feel, you know, sensual energy, I'm going to feel that. And sensual energy isn't just like, oh, sexual. Sensual energy is your 5 senses, period. I want to see what I want to see. I want to smell what I want to smell. I want to taste what I want to taste. I want to hear what I want to hear. And I want to touch what I want to touch. And, when you're listening to those vibes, it does bring a transformation into your life. You're showing yourself that you deserve those things. Okay? You're telling yourself you deserve to have those things. You can trust yourself to make moves to provide yourself with those things. You can trust the universe to open up and meet you to the way it needs to meet you so you can continue to obtain and maintain those things. Like, all of this is happening. You're moving in your power in that sacral chakra. Like, and also when you start doing that, the things that are giving you anything less than that, they'll naturally fall off, and it'll be either an aggressive way or they'll literally just fade to the waste, fade away. And that's cool. Please don't get so caught up in that. The goal, that ain't the goal. The goal, like, I never see the tree bending over to pick up the leaves off the forest floor. That just doesn't happen. The tree knows what the leaves do every year. The tree knows that some of them gonna fall. Some of them might stay on that branch. I done seen a couple leaves stay on a branch. Oh, like they like I go nowhere. Like that happens too. But I never see a tree losing no sleep, breaking no sweat, trying to bend over and pick up no leaves or rake up around them. I've never seen that, and I hope that I never will. So you don't do that. All that to say, you don't do that. You don't have to do that. Let the things go. That's the energy of transformation. That's the energy of that eighth house. What rebirth comes certain levels of death. Now, on the masculine side, on the outer side, as far as experiences go, we only have the fifth house over there. But for those of you guys who don't know, the masculine side of our sacral chakra is ruled by Obatala, which is Sagittarian energy. This is in alignment with Tahuti, the oracle sage, bringing on wisdom. We're dealing with the second sphere in the tree of life, which is the power of knowing and manifesting. And like I said, we only have the fifth house in our energy of experiences. So what does that say? This is going to be emotionally invoking. The fifth house is your heart. That's the Leo house. That's creativity. That's romance. That's you coming out into your childlike behavior, right? We spoke about this many, many times. I need y'all to go back to y'all little kitty selves and give yourselves some hugs, write yourselves some letters, and let yourself be the child you're supposed to be. You came into this world already knowing what you're supposed to be doing. It's just you allow so many people, places, and things from society convince you that all that shit was wrong or unrealistic, or you can't do that and you can't do this or whatever. You allow that to seep into your mind and really affect how you move and how you treat yourself. So come back, tap back into your sacral chakra and let that little kid lead the way. Now you're the adult to that child. Now you're the adult, so you can be the one to be like, all right, we're gonna put you in a little time now. Or hey, you know what, we're gonna have that ice cream, or we're gonna we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. Like, let yourself have that. You deserve that. So that's what you got for your sacral chakra. And I'm gonna go ahead and pull a card for your sacral chakra, guys. We've got the Six of Cups. All right, so with this, and I will be a little transparent, this is a little bit of a projection. But this is the whole first thought that came to my mind. So we're going to go with it. We got the reverse Six of Cups. Now, with the Six of Cups is the celestial energy, which I love because we're definitely talking about Piscean vibes right now. Olukun, spirit. You already know. And then the eighth house is definitely veil is thin in that realm. However, in this card, with it being in reverse, it's kind of like a lot of, like I just said, like, I don't see trees losing sweat because the leaves are falling. They're not trying to pick up the leaves. So with that being said, while you're engaging in this sacral chakra energy, it's going to be some people that are used to you filling up their cup, okay? And you're not going to be there to fill up their cup. And that's okay, because it was never your responsibility to keep filling up their cup anyway. Because it's not their responsibility to fill up your cup. You know that. You're powerful enough to know that. Your solar plexus chakra is so balanced that you know that. So if they don't know that, that's not your responsibility to keep doing it for them. You know what I'm saying? So, individuals are going to be upset. They're going to be triggered. They're going to be like, what about my cup, my cup, my cup? And yeah, in those periods of time, in those dialogues, you're going to have to say no. And yeah, it might be aggressive, assertive. Like I said, when we're dealing with these transformations and things like that, it's not always going to be pretty go lucky. Like, oh, I see you healing, I see you growing, I'm so proud of you, I'm just going to go away. Like, it doesn't. In a perfect world, it would happen that way. In a perfect world, everybody would see the growth and be like, you know what, I need to go and grow, so I'm gonna just. Everybody doesn't do that. Some people are going to keep trying to tug at your shirt. Some people are going to keep, they're going to try to emulate you, thinking, well, maybe it's something wrong with me. So maybe if I try to be you, I'll be able to do what you're doing, because they're still not walking in their solar plexus yet. And that's not for you to correct. That's not for you to get upset about. Of course you're going to have emotions about it, because we're still healing. We can have logic and our emotions still be over here and coming left, and that's okay. Give yourself space to do that. Give yourself space to be that. At the same token, also understand what it is. Just understand what it is. It's winter time. It's time for transformation. It was never your job to fill up people's cups to the extent that you were doing. So the fact that you're stopping and you can't and you're just not going to, yeah, it's going to be some altercation. Some people going to get upset. And that's just what it is. That's just what it is. Now we're going to get into the solar plexus chakra. The solar plexus chakra is Manipura. This is the city of jewels. Now we in our fire. This is located at the upper abdomen or in your middle back. Depends on what side of your body you want to put your crystals on or focus on. This brings on the energy of willpower, power, self-expression, self-esteem, your courage. Also, this is your energy center. We're dealing with the ethers. This is the glow of fire. And then again, if you guys check me out on YouTube, you guys can see the frequencies, the colors, and all that stuff. As far as the feminine side, we're dealing with the energy of Ogun, which is Aries. Hera Kahuti is the netter. And this is the enforcement of law, courage, and fearlessness. We're dealing with the fifth sphere in the tree of life, which is the enforcement of the celestial government, also called administration. As far as the energies that we have over here in this space at the moment, we have Chiron, which is all about wounds and how you turn your wounds into a superpower. And of course, that's sitting in the 8th house of transformation. Aries, which is that feminine energy of Aries. So it's like that woman warrior. Like, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Xena, but the story of Xena with that girl that was, helping her, that is that show actually came out in response to the discovery of Aries and her feminine moon. So it's just Aries and her moon sitting on a orbit far, far away out past Pluto, just living her best life, causing discord and disharmony in the most primordial way. And right now it's in Aries. So, the goddess is bringing in new beginnings. The goddess is bringing in transformations. And the goddess has been in this energy since 1925. So when you think about what we're going on in the 20s was like the suffrage, Sojourner Truth, Susan B. Anthony, these goddesses, coming out and being in people's voices as they're fighting the vote, fighting for equal rights. What was that Triangle t-shirt company where the women in the warehouses, that burnt down, women fight against that, and better working conditions and equal pay, and these are things that we're still fighting for to this day. So don't even worry about it, sweethearts. Aries will be in Aries till 2044. By the end of 2044, we're gonna get this right. And I love the numbers of that. 2044. That's 10. That's 1. So we go to the 10 spheres and we come back at 1. So by the time we get to 2044, and I'm hoping that it won't take the whole 100 something years for it to get the fuck done. But in the event that it does, by the time we get to 2044, we'll be at the 10 and 1. You hear me? So something to look forward to my goddesses out there. Our equality is coming, y'all. The recognition for being a mother is coming. That is the most. Being a mom is the most tiring job. You don't get thanked for it as much as you're supposed to. It's literally the job that you'll have for the rest of your existence. Once you're in, you're out. Once we in here, ain't no going back. It's the craziest gang you ever get jumped into. And, whenever things go wrong with the children, the mothers get dragged. There's never any attention towards the fathers. The fathers that are absent now, women are getting dragged for the absence of the fathers because a couple mothers are walking around scorned. And I get that. There's different instances where the mother is angry, so she does keep the child away from the father. I'm not condoning those instances. However, generalizations is a very lazy way of talking. And it's also a very lazy way of thinking. If you think every mother out here is just like, I hate you, keeping my child away, like, that's not real life. We're not fitting to do that. And regardless of what her motivations are, if you really want your child, you really were tapped into being a parent, you would do everything in your position and your power to have your child. You wouldn't be on some, oh, I'm so defeated. Because on God, if somebody walked into my house right now and tried to take my child, oh, you got a fight coming for you. You think I'm about to just bow down because somebody want to take my child? And that's the same energy these fathers need to have. But they got to get tapped into their solar plexus first before they do all that. They walk around feeling powerless. And if we be empathetic to our kings out here, they did go through a lot of buck breaking, a lot of embarrassment, a lot of shaming, a lot of dragging, a lot of, public hangings, public, castrations and everything else. So, they have a lot of healing to do. But in the midst of their healing, we not fitting to play the blame game. And that's all right, because Aries is here. Aries gonna be here till 2044 till we get it right. You hear me? Jupiter is also in this space, and that's father time. That's Obatala right there, bringing on that generosity and that wisdom. Okay, that's like the pop that pulls up with the candy, the dollar bill, and an Aesop fable for you. You feel me? That's the Obatala energy, and also in that energy of new beginnings. So you being tapped into your solar plexus chakra is going to bring new things for you. Is going to bring expansion for you, because we're talking about the ninth house is also in the feminine side of your solar plexus chakra, and that is literally the energy of expansion, higher education, universities. And I see all of y'all expanding yourself, from our LLC hoteppers to our actual religious biblical hoteppers, our NFT hoteppers. Everybody is just very extreme. They are very much tapped into this Aries energy that's bringing expansion, edification, transformation, because that eighth house vibe. It's beautiful to see. I know a lot of us are out here making jokes about people, especially I see a lot of little sneak disses towards the followers of 19 Keys and how they go so aggressive and assertively. But on some G shit, that's literally Aries energy. That's literally Aries energy. Now, granted, they hustling the shit out of y'all, making y'all think y'all gotta spend like $3,000 in LLCs and trademarks to be successful businesses. But but that's still Aries energy. That's the warrior like energy. That's still that get it done and new things. As far as the masculine side of our solar plexus chakra, we have the fourth house on that side. That fourth house is the energy of home and family. All right. This is the foundation of life. This is the foundation of your existence. And a lot of my dialogue lately has been going towards, a lot of parents, especially new parents, but it's just like, what kind of foundation are you bringing to your babies? Like, are you concerning yourself with your children's natal chart or your children's human design? When you're on YouTube and you're learning things and you're taking notes, are you taking the time to, bring it back to your children and teach them what you're learning? Are you taking the time out to really pay attention to your children's love languages, what they need, for their soul, for their emotions, so they can grow up, strong and things like that? This is the time to start putting those kind of things into consideration. A lot of us don't realize when you care for your children, you indirectly kind of care for yourself. You're healing yourself when you heal that child. That child, came into existence for a reason. They came into the physical for a reason. And usually they come from your heart. And they're there to teach you certain lessons and give you certain realizations. And it's just like, are you using them? And as you start to use them and you start to pay attention to them and you allow them to be and exist, and you learn how to, you essentially start to learn how to do that for yourself. Like, my example that I give a lot is my son. His Venus is in Aries, And initially, they used to drive me crazy. I was one of those parents that would be in the car crying on my phone, crying on the phone to my mom for hours at a time. I didn't know what to do for her. I just want the crying to stop. But coming in, as he gets older, now he can speak, words that I can understand and stuff. But even back then, just trying to understand, like, okay, your love language is touch. You need to be touched. He could just be sitting next to me and his foot on my foot or something. But now he's getting even older. He could be upstairs, but every now and then he has to come downstairs and give me a hug or ask me if I'm okay. And I love that. Why? Because on some G shit, that's my love language. I love that shit. But it's just like, sometimes, we look at our children as there is a mindset, and I will say I had it, where it's just like, I want this, but I want this from a romantic partner. And it's like, but baby, I just gave you a whole human being that's giving you the same thing unconditionally. Them romantic relationships gonna come and go, either on your behalf or theirs. So when I give you this baby, you sit up here talking about something you wish it was coming in the form of a man or a woman, you tripping. And so, that's a vibe to keep in mind. Sometimes it would be nice to get that kind of energy from a romantic partner or romantic interest. But when the universe gives you a child, like, don't take that shit lightly. That shit, like, that baby don't come after all that shit. Like, romantic shit come last now. This is the love you asked for real, for real. And when you start to give your child that love that they're asking you for, you do in turn start to heal yourself. You start to see, like, yo, this is me. This is me. And then the self-care comes. All those little puzzle pieces start coming. The self-care, the self-empowerment, the self-esteem. Because as you're looking in the mirror saying better things to yourself and doing better things for yourself, your child is seeing that and emulating that and also demanding that in their space even more so, because you're demanding it in your space. It's a beautiful thing. I love it here. And that's what you're going to start to experience on the outside of self with that fourth house in the masculine side of your solar plexus chakra. So now we're going to pull a card for your solar plexus. We got the reverse sun. That's funny. So we're not quite there yet. Everything I just said. And that's okay. We're going to get there. That's what the reverse card is about. We're going to get there. Also, the solar plexus chakra is also in retrograde. I don't know if you guys know that, but Mars is the ruler, with Ogun is the ruler of the solar plexus chakra, and that's sitting in Gemini in the 10th house, being ruled by Taurus, also in retrograde. So it's slow, we slowed down, we had a slow pace. We're not there yet. We're also in the middle of winter. The sun is not at its highest. If you guys heard everything I said and felt triggered, it's okay. You have time. I'm still working on me too. I'm not over here condemning and judging or nothing. I'm telling y'all, when I speak, bro, it be so much channeling going on, and it be for me and whoever's listening, whoever bothers to open up their ears to listen, okay? So don't ever, think like, oh my God, I don't have enough time. My kid is 30. It's never too late. You got it. You got it. It's slow down time in our solar plexus chakra, very much aware. It's okay if you're not there yet. However, that is the goal, and those are the energies in that space. We just gonna move a little slow with it. Now we're gonna move on to the heart chakra, which is your anahata. And this means unstruck, unhurt, and unbeaten. The heart chakra is located in the middle of your chest or between your shoulder blades. It depends on if you want to look here or back there. I ain't gonna hold you. The last couple of days, I've had like this really tight muscle in my chest. And then I finally, I don't know why, I looked in the mirror at myself today like, bro, my shoulders look strong as shit. I've been doing a whole bunch of lifting my body up with my arms and shit, since my leg has been broken. I've been relying a lot on my upper body strength. I really look like I've been lifting my body weight a lot. But I just had this crazy tightness right there. And I gotta get me a heart chakra cleanse. I'm not feeling the vibes. But my emotions have been got a little callous in my heart right now. I'm working on me. That's me being transparent with y'all. But yeah, this energy controls self-esteem, love, wealth, wisdom, compassion, empathy, all that fun stuff. We're dealing with the crescent moon shape, and if you guys tap in on my YouTube, you can see the different like piano notes and sounds and vowels and color frequencies Venus or Oshun rules over the heart chakra, and that's sitting in Babalu A, which is Capricorn vibes in the fifth house, ruled by Sagittarian energy. So what's in your heart will surely come to manifestation. Be determined in your heart. That's that initiative energy. A lot of the feelings and emotions you guys have are going to be like first timers as far as you actually like following through with that heart energy. Because one thing about goats is they follow through. They don't give a fuck. I'm gonna get over this mountain. I don't care about them couple of slides I just did. My goal is to get to the other side of this mountain, so that's what I'm gonna do. So you keep that in mind with your heart chakra, okay? If your heart wants something, if your heart is desiring something, channel that goat. That's what you're gonna do. That's what you're going to do, okay? And then it's in that fifth house of child, creativity, and romance. So most likely it's your inner child coming out telling you what it wants to do. But if you guys have not been working on gaining the trust of your inner child again, then it's going to be kind of difficult to hear that voice. You have to go back to that inner child and ask for forgiveness. I'm pretty sure some of you guys have been spending a lot of time ignoring baby boy or baby girl, and they need a hug. They need some reassurance. They need to know that, you know, you're there for them and you're actually here to listen to them now. And, you know, you're not on that destructive sabotaging shit no more, whatever. It's important. So on the feminine side of your heart chakra, you know, that's the energy of Het Heru, the Kundalini, sensual forces. We're dealing with the seventh sphere in the tree of life, which is the celestial workers designing and working. We have Uranus over here, and that's fun. Uranus is the energy of progressive change, making things new. It's kind of like the analogy I use a lot is when you have that friend and you keep calling that friend and you keep complaining about the same thing over and over again. And after a while, your friend is just like, I don't want to hear that no more. Like, you got to change this behavior. And that behavior really actually gets you to change. It's also, you know, it rules over your circulatory system, your third eye, breaking traditions and trying new innovative approaches and patterns to things. So that's fun. So it's sitting in Taurian energy, you know, that sensual energy, which I said is all five senses. Progressive change to your five senses. What are you seeing? What are you smelling? What are you touching? What are you tasting? All that stuff. What are you hearing? Also, on the Vedic chart, we're in Aries with that Uranus energy. So of course, Uranus is bringing new beginnings and expansion in that ninth house vibe. Ninth house is all about traveling and higher education, philosophies, all that different stuff like that. And also, Uranus is also in retrograde. So it's moving slow in this realm of creating new beginnings on that behavior realm, but also in, you know, progressive change in your self-esteem, progressive change in your and what you prioritize, what you find yourself loyal to, you know, your terms of affection and stuff like that. The true node is also in the feminine side of your heart chakra. The true node is the energy of like the path of your destiny. You could definitely find your soul tribe if you align your true node with others. You'll find that you guys have a lot of similar experiences, trials, lessons, and tribulations when you align with your soul tribe true node. So anybody who knows anybody with a I believe my Rahu is Leo and my Ketu is Aquarius, I believe. So, which is weird because I'm a Leo rising and my Jupiter is also in Leo. I am confused. But I'm getting it together. I'm still studying stuff. I ain't mad. But yeah, that's what's happening. And then the 10th house is also on the feminine side of your heart chakra. So following your heart is going to bring you those pinnacles. It's going to bring you achievements. It's also going to affect your image and your public image and how people choose to see you, how you choose to see yourself, you know, that self-esteem vibe, most definitely. I always feel better when I listen to myself. When I be like, we're not doing this, or we finna do that, and I actually do it or not do it. Yeah, I feel better afterwards. Like, thank you for listening to me, Nika. You're welcome. The masculine side of our heart chakra is ruled by Olba, which is Libra energy. Again, that's net het, but still the same energy as het Heru, with the Kundalini and the sensual forces and the seventh sphere and the tree of life. We have Sirius over here on our masculine side. We really don't have too many energies over here.
So we have Sirius over here, which is in alignment with Iris, being nurturing, nurturer. What's your nurturing spirit? What are your ways that you nurture other people? Mother, daughter, maternal type relationships. Also dealing with agricultural and nourishment. All right, that's sitting on the masculine side. So when you're in the inside doing all the work and learning about the qualities of self, you need to, fine tune either to, increase or decrease and, finding your soul tribe and being tapped into, your achievements and your aspirations and your inspirations on the outside of self. It's going to turn you into a nurturing individual. You're also going to seek nurturing. Some of you guys out there, I see you guys ordering the soft pretty princess or soft pretty prince package for 2023. I ain't mad. Go on and order that package, baby. I am not mad at all. That is that series energy. It's okay to want to be nurtured. It's okay to want to slow down. It's okay to want affection, some type of, intimate attention. And it doesn't always have to be like with romance, the Roman antics. It doesn't always have to be that way. Sometimes I just want a hug. I just want a hug that I can breathe in and I can meditate in. Let me get a 5-minute hug real quick. Let me just hold somebody's hand and just walk down somewhere, just to enjoy space, Those are different forms of nurturing as well. Also, you guys having a better mind, not better mindset, but maybe a different mindset on your nourishment. What are you going to for nourishment? Not just always food. For me, it's been water. Trying to pay attention to the water. I keep seeing euphoria water everywhere. It's just a matter of me obtaining it. But also, different things you're consuming, different readers or spiritualists you're going to. If you're going to a therapist, you might want to switch them. If you're going to a doctor for something, you might want to switch them. All of those things, those are all forms of nourishment. If you have a certain kind of teacher and a certain kind of thing, you might want to switch that up, or you might want to, communicate your needs as they're transforming or doing different things. All that energy. It's a vibe. We also have the third house over there as well. And the third house deals with communication and transportation, your interests, your habits, like with your neighbors, your siblings, and things like that. So your experiences will be a lot with them as well, creating nurturing spaces for them, with them. You might want to start doing stuff with your siblings. You might have a sibling pop up and be in some type of need, in need of some type of nurturing, any type of nourishing, or you might be that sibling. Like right now, I am that sibling. I don't give a fuck. It happens. And that's the different experiences that you're gonna feel on the outside of your heart chakra. So, it's gonna tug at your emotions, whether you're feeling it or someone else is feeling it around you. Learning how to communicate the progressive things that are going on in your heart is a whole thing too. So let's pull a card for our heart chakra, right? Ooh, we got the Queen of Swords. Feeling empowered, are we? We're feeling empowered under this Uranus energy, and that's really good. I'm happy for y'all. I'm happy that we're moving away from a lot of the trauma in space and really tapping into that Chiron energy, right? That just lets me know that the Chiron in the solar plexus is definitely like where it needs to be, because your heart chakra is all right. Like it's like the chakras, I'll be thinking about them like the Mortal Kombat stages, right? Once you get past one, when that one is stable and you don't beat that round, the next one will be, now you got to go to the next one. And that's really like, once your solar plexus and all those like little people, places and things in alignment, you get to move up to the next one and feel good. Like if I feel empowered, my emotions is good. I don't feel easily triggered. I don't feel emotional. I don't feel sad and angry. I don't feel on edge. I don't feel anxious. I feel good because my root chakra is solid. My sacral chakra is living its best life, and my solar plexus chakra is stable and empowered. And that's really what this vibe is. This heart is stable and empowered. Very nurtured. I get like mama vibes, definitely that mother warrior vibes, being very much tapped into that realm. Some of y'all are going to be tapped into this energy as far as being the creator of nurturing spaces for people in your community in a way that you have to protect them. And with that, I say tap back into your Chiron to learn about some of the wounds that you have experienced and really give yourself credit for overcoming those wounds and find power in those wounds, right? Go back to that Chiron and Aries in the 8th house. Some of you guys need to, some of you guys don't. Some of you guys already did that shadow work. And if you did, it's definitely time to move into this space where you are creating those nurturing, nourishing spaces and you're willing to protect them. You're willing to protect them because then when someone comes and they try to touch your traumas to try to break down the safe space you created, they won't be able to do that because you already did your shadow work with those traumas. Like those traumas are already superpowers, baby. You can't touch those. That shit don't hurt me. Like I already grabbed them jaws and turned them into daggers. You gotta have that kind of space. So let's go into the throat chakra. We are on the Vishuddha. And this means pure element. Now, as far as the place on your body, we're talking about your mouth. Now, the throat chakra is not just like straight throat. It's your mouth, your tongue, your ears, your neck, your thyroid, your parathyroid. It rolls over expression, communication, and vocation. All right. And then if you guys check me out on YouTube, you guys can tap into the sounds, the frequencies, the colors, and all that fun stuff. We're dealing with the inverted pyramid here. On the feminine side of your throat chakra is Gemini, which is the Abeji twins. As far as the Netherroots go, we're dealing with Sebek, which is the 8th sphere on the tree of life, all about opposing forces, being left-brained, labeling, and separation. Now, this is where man's ill lies. This is where, universally speaking, this is where we have the biggest block. Over here in the throat chakra, where it comes to labeling and separation. Because we get so caught up in the 8th sphere that we never make it to the 10th sphere that brings you back to the 1st sphere, saying that we are all one. Because we're so caught up in labeling and separating things from things. And once we heal that part of self as a whole on a universal level, we'll be able to move back up to the 10th sphere and bring ourselves back down to 1. The goal is to align yourself with all of these as a soul. Like you literally have all the gods and goddesses in you. The deities and the orishas, they're not to be praised outside of you. I think a lot of people lose sight of that. Let me clarify that. I have a lot of people that come to me and they ask me if I do spells and if I do stuff on all. I do not. I don't do that. I'm not that person. I'm not interested in those kind of things because I know that I am all the deities. I am all the orishas. I'm all these tarot cards. I really don't need these tarot cards, honestly. I do them because the people that watch me and listen to me need the tarot cards. I can look at you and tell you what you need to know, but are you going to receive it if I don't pull out a card and tell you? People usually don't. People just be like, oh, you just in my face talking shit. So I pull out the card and then I talk my shit that I already have. Like, you know, it doesn't always happen that way. Sometimes I pull out a card and it completely diverts me from what I was going to say because, you know, the universe be having other plans. Like, nah, you don't need to say that. You need to say this. So I'm going to say that instead. But for the most part, like, I have all that in me. All the deities, all the orishas, all the gods and goddesses, all the Netherroots, all of them are in you. You're literally all of them. When we speak on the Netherroots and the orishas, they're literally showing you the different levels of self. Okay? These are different levels of you. You think you're reading about some entity that's outside of you? No, you're reading about yourself. You're reading about how your glands and your organs and your organelles and your body systems function together. You're reading about some of the instances, some of the illnesses that might happen when this one does this one and that one does that one. But on the outside of self, you think you're reading about incest amongst gods and rapings and this producing that. No, that's what's going to happen if this happens to this and you keep putting that inside your liver or you keep like that's what's going to happen. Like, you know, stop trying to don't separate yourself from these stories that you're reading. Don't separate yourself from the deities and the orishas. It literally is a health textbook. It's just written in a fun way, you know. Once you start seeing stuff like that as for what it is, like it'll help you absorb it better and apply it way better. Because to sit here and create a whole altar for some deities and some energy outside of you, that does more for them than it does for you. You giving them life. Of course they're gonna love that shit. I would love it too. If I died and people still was raining my name and, you know, decorating their house with my shit, hell yeah. You know, when I die, I do hope that happens. Yes. Make me a G. Bury me a G. I say that all the time because that's what I want. I want to be buried a G. Because I am. I know what I am. And I would hope that all of you guys know that much about yourselves as well, where you say, yeah, bury me a G, bro. That's what I am. Put me on your altars. All that fun stuff. Also know that you are the G today. You are the one that was chosen to be in the physical, the mental, the emotional, the spiritual, the psychological, the financial, the philosophical. You were the one chosen in this space of time to be in all those realms right now. You were chosen. So why are you going to other deities that were not chosen? And why do you think they're outside of you? Don't do that. Go back to your solar plexus and let's try again. This is your power. You got to step in it if you're going to use it. If you thinking some entity is going to pull up on you and do a bunch of stuff for you, baby, you sadly mistaken. That's not how it works. All right, let's go back to the throat chakra. So Mars is in the throat chakra. First of all, Mercury rules over the throat chakra. Mercury is a shoe. Okay. Mercury right now is sitting in Babalue, which is Capricorn vibes, in that 5th house of Sagittarian vibes. So be mindful with your tongue. Be mindful with your mouth, your ears, your throat. The things that you are speaking now will be materialized. Why? Because Eshu is in Babalue. That's literally manifestation, materialization energy. The initial con at that. You have the power to speak so many things to existence right now. You literally do. Are you going to speak something and it pop right up? It might, if it's something small that can happen that fast, yes. But for those bigger things, I would say wait till Aries season to start seeing the fruits of those labors. You might see little trinkets here and there, and those little trinkets here and there are just to remind you that you're still on the path. Stay on the path. Don't get discouraged. Don't be doubtful. However, at the same token, please be mindful of the things you speak. And when I speak to y'all, I'm speaking to myself. Y'all know I got a dark sense of humor. Y'all know I get emotional and I just say anything. That Leo energy will pop up in a hot second. Like, I hate it here. I hate everybody. I don't hate nobody. I do hate it here though. And you know, that's me. I'm still healing. I'm still healing. I don't talk on no throne. I don't talk on no threshold with my nose down at y'all. That's not what's happening here at all. That's never what's happening here at all. So with that being said, we all just have to be mindful of what we're choosing to speak life to, because we are in a space where our throat chakras are very powerful. So those New Year's resolution, that's why, you know, innately we've been taught, do the New Year's resolution. And you figure, you know, during the wintertime, they really guide us on what to say. They really guide us on on how we interact with each other. It's way more guidance here than it is in the summertime or in the springtime. I don't have nobody telling me how to greet people in the summertime. Nobody saying, hey, say happy summer, say merry summer, say summer greetings. They don't do that in the summertime. But if you think about the wintertime, it's so much guidance. So many landmines. You have to say this. You have to say it like that. You have to da-da-da-da-da. It's so much. Why? Because the veil is thin. And these people who have built the society as we know it, they want their shit manifested. They want certain things to keep going. They want certain patterns and behaviors and mindsets and consumerism and divisions. They want to keep those certain things alive because that keeps them in the power that they're in. So to keep those things alive, they're going to come to you and say, hey, you got to say this. You got to do it this way. You got to shop on this day. You got to shop on that day. Like, who in the summertime is telling you what day to shop? Is somebody, oh, everybody shop on this Friday. Like, it's so much guidance on what to say and do on certain days. And if you pay attention to what the planets are doing on those certain days, it's always when the veil is thin or when there's energy going through it or coming out of it. It's always during those times. Like last week, all of our planets were lined up and y'all was worried about a Santa Claus. That's it. Like, what the fuck? All the planets were lined up and we was worried about a Santa Claus. It's so meticulous. You really, really got to be careful. And then they wait until the solstice is over to want to talk about a Kwanzaa. No, I want to talk about Kwanzaa during the solstice, when the veil is super thin, when we're really in the middle of the shits, when it's time to really talk about what we're trying to manifest. That's when we should be talking about your motion. Why are we talking about it now? The sun done rose. We done missed the whole rising of Sirius and everything. We missed it. This is CP time for real. But you know, all of that stuff is intentional. It's all intentional. And that's okay. Hey, you know, once you learn how intentional other people's energy is, instead of you feeling defeated or whatever, it's supposed to make you feel empowered. Because if somebody is doing evil and they're able to get all of this shit done, imagine what you can do with love. Imagine what you could do with unity. Imagine what you could do with self-esteem and empowerment. You could do so much more because your energy is more pure. There's less nonsense in the vibes that you're trying to get off. So, moving that light, moving that level of power. And then, Mars is here motivating you to go ahead and utilize that throat chakra. A lot of y'all are getting pushed to situations where you're going to have to speak up. If you don't speak up, oh my gosh, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt your mind. It's going to hurt your throat. It's going to hurt your ears. Some of you guys starting to get sick because y'all holding this shit y'all should be saying out loud. Stop holding that stuff in. It's making mucus in your throat. Don't do that. Nobody need no code. It's time to start yelling at motherfuckers. This ain't right. That ain't right. I don't like this. I don't like that. This is not okay. We're not doing this no more. Or this is like, I like this. I like that. I want this. I want that. I deserve this. I desire that. You have to say these things. You have to say these things. They got to be said. If you don't say them, like, who's going to say them for you? You're going to let other people narrate your story and tell you like the disrespect. You were cool with the disrespect. You were cool with them coming in your space and dragging you and then telling you, how to react. Like you was cool with all that. If you're not, you're not. And that's okay. And when we speak and we feel pushed and motivated to speak, the midheaven is also in our throat chakra. Our aspirations, our achievements, our image, how we want to see ourselves, but also how we want other people to see us, how we want to be felt, that energy you want to bring when you walk into a room. Like all that stuff means something to you, and there's nothing wrong with those things meaning something to you. And if something is moving out of alignment with the vision that you imagine for yourself, then you need to speak on it. It don't even got to be about other people. It's probably just be you. You know how often I got to talk to myself to get the fuck out of my own way? Like, wait a minute, sunshine. Hold up, Nika. Hold up. Like, wait, we going to get out of our own way with this. This not what we finna do. This is not what we're doing right now. Sometimes I got to communicate to get out of my own way because I'll oppress myself or depress myself. And no, we're not doing that. So if I'm not tolerating that for myself, I'm definitely not tolerating that from nobody around me. I'm not. And you got to have that mindset because people are going to come around and they're going to test that. And I really hope that y'all allowing that throat, a shoe sitting in that throat chakra energy to go ahead and voice some boundaries on that shit too. And like I said, some people going to be upset. Let them. The 11th house is also in the feminine side of your throat chakra. And this helps us to remember the purpose of your work and your humanitarian pursuits. Excuse me. This also assists with broadening your reach as you define your role within society. Some of you guys are still trying to speak your public image into the realms, and that's fun. As far as your groups and your friends and your social circles and your social awareness. Also, technology is sitting in this realm as well. So, Mercury goes in retrograde tonight, and we'll get into that a little bit deeper later because Mercury rules over the throat chakra, so it'll be slowing down. So expect a little bit of a slowdown with your technology, also a little bit of slowdown with some of your ambitions, wanting to get things done, the aspirations and achievements. Again, just nice little reminders that we're still in the middle of winter. So, I know y'all see the sun more. It's looking pretty. Like right now it's 4:50 and it's still kind of light outside. That's a big deal right now to me anyway. But, it's out there and it's happening at the same token. It's like, all right, you can chill though. Like I said, some of you guys might not get the results like right away. It might not happen till like Aries season when we're really, Kundalini's up. And that's okay. Smaller things like, dang, I wish I had a blunt right now. And then somebody text you like, hey, you trying to smoke? Like little things like that. Like, yeah, okay. you can have that. But those big things y'all trying to manifest, be patient, be present. You good. As far as the masculine side of your throat chakra, like what you'll be experiencing from this, we're still dealing with Sebek, which is the eighth sphere, the opposing forces and the labeling of things. Your ascendant is actually over here. Your ascendant is your first house, and this is like the body you're born in, your physical appearance and your general temperament. This is where you take new initiatives, maybe change up your attitude, take on a new identity, have some sort of approach to life, switch up or something like that. And that's sitting in your throat chakra. Like, you literally have the power to speak. Yo, like, if you guys are not journaling, if you're not writing down what you want, if you're not breathing that bitch, if you're not over there making rap songs and little cute songs and quotes and all that stuff to live the life you're trying to live, oh, you're missing out. Please don't. Like, yeah, we're in a time of slowdown, but don't think you're not being heard. Your voice is so powerful right now. Your voice is so powerful right now. We also have the second house in your experiences. This deals with personal finances, material possessions, concept of value. This is associated with changes in your resources and self-esteem. Some of you guys might be switching up in a job, in your careers or whatever, also dealing with your five senses, your self-esteem, your physical environment, your priorities. All that stuff can be spoken into existence. What do you want your regular priorities to be? What do you want your priorities to feel like on a daily basis? What do I want? I want my priorities to be, I gotta homeschool my kids, I gotta cook dinner, and I gotta feed these animals. I want those to be the hardest parts of my day. For real. And I'm just, it's crazy because at one point I had such a vision and it was so clear and I could just breathe it all the time. And then I let so much fear get in the way. And then, like, I'm grateful for Roxy because she led me to learning my human design and how my mind space is set up because of my human design. And once I started learning that part of self, I realized a lot of the fears and stuff that I absorbed didn't belong to me. They belong to other people, but I have a bad habit of internalizing shit that's said to me. And so to have like a different mindset, a different interpretation of how like I absorb people's stuff, it kind of put me in a space where it's like, I know I'm being extreme, but I can't absorb shit right now. Because if I do, it's just going to fuck up what I'm trying to get done. So it's like that tunnel vision is like needed a little bit because I don't want no, I'm a Virgo stellium. So I got a lot of, overthinking. You know how many black holes are in the Virgo constellation? That's why they give Virgo that overthinking vibe, because there's a lot of galaxies and there's like 3 or 4 black holes in the middle of the Virgo constellation. And it's literally the only constellation in the sky that's so dense. Like, that's the most dense constellation in the sky. And that's where that overthinking, overanalyzing energy comes from. Because I don't know if you guys ever been in the mind of a Virgo, but we can get so lost. We can get so lost. But that's the alignment with that constellation. And also learn about the constellations. Like, a lot of us, we just be rocking the zodiacs, and the zodiacs are cool, but when you learn about the constellations, you really learn about behaviors. Okay, the zodiacs are for mind space. How do you think? But when you get into those constellations, you really get into behaviors. Like, oh, okay, and just know they're all in you. They're all in you in some way or another. You might not have them all in your natal chart, but you got all the houses though. You got all the chakras though. So in some way or another, you have a reflection of all the zodiacs, even the ones that we don't talk about. Like, we only give credit to 12. There's 13 constellations now because we have a constellation in between Scorpio and Sagittarius, but nobody's really giving credit to that. Thankfully here at Less Nobodies we do. But study the constellations. That's it. All right, let's pull a card for our throat chakra. The reverse Queen of Pentacles. So the reverse Queen of Pentacles has much to do with people speaking things into existence with some type of like people user manipulation. Just not necessarily I'm malicious, like I want to harm you, but like I want your money. So a lot of scammers, and schemers are utilizing their throat chakras in this space. And that goes back to what I was talking about earlier. Like, if there's people in this room that are utilizing the same power for their bullshit, instead of you feeling like helpless or hopeless, you should feel empowered, because your power of love and unity and good intentions actually flows better and lighter than the energy of someone that's doing dark magic or doing something malicious or hurtful or manipulative. Because the vibrations they have to put out are a lot heavier, which is why they need to have thousands of followers or tens of thousands of listeners or million people out there sold out shows. That's why they need all of those things in order for them to get their magic out. They need a lot more energy. They need to suck up a lot more things. They need to be on bigger platforms. Whereas someone that just was, to spread love only need like 10, 15 people, and oh, I got the village, I got the tribe, you know what I'm saying? Like, and somebody, using their shit for bad, or even just a spectator that admires someone that uses their shit for bad. It's easy for them to look at the person satisfied with 10 or 12 and be like, ooh, but you don't realize the magic that's going behind it. My magic is stronger than theirs. I don't need to do as much stuff as they need to do to get my stuff done. I don't need as many people. I don't need to do all of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not as strenuous. But this reversal card is just letting it be known that it's some of y'all that are overextenuating like your energy to be manipulative, to utilize people for their funds. If you're misleading people with your business ideas, your business techniques or whatever, please stop it. We don't want to do that. But that reversal also means that there is also a blockage in this space right here as far as you guys materializing and manifesting. So just want to work past that. Definitely work past that. Mercury right now is in the root chakra, so you might as well, might as well, go back to your root chakra and go back to the planetary placements you have in that root chakra. And if you guys want to learn how to do that, I do one-on-one sessions. We could do that together in therapy, or we could do that together in one, energy awareness session, whichever one you want to do. You guys can book me on lessnobodiescollection.com. I do that stuff. So let's get into the third eye chakra, which is Ajna. This is command beyond wisdom. And this is located between the eyebrows. It deals with polarity, the inner and outer self, intuition. It's also the mind energy center. It deals with foresight, which is creation, spirituality on the left side of your brain, and the logical and rational on the right side of your brain is creativity, and the left side of your brain is logical and rational. And imagination. So the third eye deals with both sides of your brain, not just one. All right. As far as the feminine side of your third eye, we're dealing with Cancer energy, which is your moja. This is in alignment with all set, which is the awareness of depth of being. We're talking about learning, healing, nourishing, trance, the ninth sphere, and the tree of life, which deals with worldly events and the divine womb. Lilith is the celestial body that's in Cancer energy right now. Lilith is like the moon. When the moon is the furthest away from the sun and is dark, that's Lilith. So right now, Lilith is in that Cancer energy. It deals with your rebellious side, like your deepest desires to do something. And these are usually the things that you suppress about yourself, the stuff you try to keep to the side because you don't want to trigger nobody. It's not, society doesn't accept it. It's not, good behaviors to have or whatever. And usually when you see someone else being unapologetic and like exhibiting this behavior or attention, it becomes triggering to you because you're like, well, if I can't show off this energy, why does this person get to flaunt around their energy? And it might bother you. And if you weren't oppressing yourself, you wouldn't be so upset about someone being free. That's essentially what that energy is. This is like what you repress. Also, it also deals with your vulnerabilities too. If you don't like to be vulnerable, it's certain areas in your life that you don't like to be vulnerable in, that you don't like to be transparent about, and this kind of sheds light on those areas of your space too that you kind of keep hidden, as well as your fantasies and stuff. So that's that. Cancer, your third eye is bringing it to the forefront, those things that you've been keeping to the side. And a lot of that will come with you, really tapping into your inner child, because your inner child had curiosities. It had things, your inner child has things that, they had to learn how to repress and suppress and, keep to themselves. Your inner child also learned survival instincts, didn't they? They had to learn how to survive, around the children they were around the adults they were around, in the school system, in the home, around the neighbors. Different survival techniques involve not being vulnerable about a lot of different things, right? So a lot of those realizations will come to your third eye more so recently. Palace is also in that Cancer energy. Palace is the vibes of, you know, the qualities that you overlook in yourself. You know, these are your genius qualities. These are the things that you're good at. You know, still coming back to that Lilith energy, as well as, you know, doing the shadow work for your inner child. It's like, you know, you suppress these things about yourself because maybe you were around some people that was like, that's not that good, or that's not as good as what I'm doing, or whatever, and you know, that affected you. That made you want to put it up. It made you not want to deal with it anymore. And this is more so in the realms of art and wisdom. So maybe there was something that you knew about, or something you were good at, you know, learning about or teaching about, or something you were good at creating, and you just allowed, you know, someone to come into your space and just like, you know, convinced you that it wasn't good enough. And so now you've been walking around acting like it's not good enough. And I'm here to tell you that it's better than good enough. So do that shit. Cut it out. The 12th house is also on the feminine side of your third eye. So these are some more realizations that are going to come into your space. The 12th house deals with, you know, things that exist without the physical form, like your secrets and your dreams and your emotions, your limited beliefs, definitely your karma, your old age. Some of you guys like to play around and learn about your afterlife and, you know, your life before this life. I don't know why y'all love playing around with that stuff. That ain't me neither. So if y'all looking for afterlife readings and stuff, I don't even want to look at my own afterlife. What makes you think I want to look at yours? I'm skipping that chapter. I'm good. I'm present and patient. My afterlife will come when it's supposed to come, and that's when it's gonna get here. Like the hell? If it's so bad, why don't you just go now? In the words of Sagaru. um it also helps you deal with hidden agendas. Like either your hidden agendas will come to the forefront of you. Some of you guys, you know, have hidden some things from yourself in your Akashic records. You know, some of you guys have did that intentionally because it was only supposed to arrive at certain times in your life or whatever. Some of you guys have hidden agendas that, like, even you don't fully understand what you're doing. Like, I don't even know why this is triggering me so much. I don't know why this person, that person getting on my nerves so much. And then, you know, you might get like a before life read and say, oh yeah, you knew this person, and that's why you feel so vindictive towards them now. And they ain't do nothing to you in this life. Also learning about other people's hidden agendas. That's a big thing too. You know, have those things revealed. I have a cousin right now that's, you know, doing a lot of revelations and revealing a lot of different things, you know, in her space right now. And, you know, kudos to her and her healing, you know, doing that. That's really dope. And I hope that a lot of you guys are allowing yourself space, time, and opportunity to do that as well. Heavy meditation on that, and go to the places that make you feel embarrassed. Like, I had a friend tag me in some videos today, right? And I noticed something about myself. I love performing. I don't like watching myself perform. I get so embarrassed because that's not me. And when I say that, and I say that to say, like, when I'm on stage, I'm channeling, I'm downloading. I'm not really there. I'm really not. I'm a whole different person. I don't know who this person is, but I fucking love her. She don't give a fuck. She don't care how she look to people. She don't care how she sound to people. She don't care how you accept her performance. She don't care because she came for herself. Honestly, it feels more like my inner child than anything. It just doesn't feel like me as an adult. It doesn't feel like the me that has all these ogre Shrek onion layers. It doesn't feel like me that's so keep to myself and keep my mouth closed and sit in the corner. That's not the me that I am when I get off the mic. And I think that's why I love her so much. Because that's the me before all the suppression. That's me before all the abuse. That's me before I got told so many times I couldn't do something. That's me that don't give a fuck who show up to my shows and who don't. That's the me up there. So when I watch myself perform, I get so embarrassed. Cause I'm like, dang, she really be up there saying anything. What the fuck? And I don't be saying nothing crazy. I really be talking to the people on some mother shit. Like, bro, we need to grow our own food. We need to buy our own land. Like, the fuck is y'all doing? Y'all spent $30, $40 to get up in here. It's 100 of y'all in there. That's $4,000 that just got spent for this night to exist. That $4,000 could have went to 4 acres of land in New Mexico. That $4,000 could have went to land in Arkansas. It could have went to like 4.5 acres of land in Arizona. It could have went to acres of land in Texas. That $4,000 could have went to a piece of land in fucking Virginia. You could have went to Florida and got some land, got an acre of land in Florida for $4,000. And y'all want me to sit up here and dance for y'all? Fuck y'all. And that's the type of time I be on the stage. And I just be down here like, bro, I don't like watching myself. My face start turning red. My eyes water. Like, why am I triggering myself like this? I am so like, don't give it. Because somebody in the audience could tell me to shut the fuck up. Like, which has never happened yet. And, you know, I pray for the soul the day it does. Because I don't know what I would do. But like, you know, I feel so free when I'm on the microphone. Like, it does not matter. I have a message and I'm here to give it to you, and I'm not playing with y'all. So don't play with me while I'm talking. And it's crazy because then I'll get off the mic and the first thing they do is play the lowest vibrational shit they could put on to put the vibe back to where they had it. And I always notice that. And that shit make me so mad. That shit be making me want to pack up my jewelry off my table and get the fuck out of there. Because how dare y'all? Y'all need to play some Lava God or some Free Soul, some Spiritual Tony after fuck I get off the mic. Y'all better not. Don't disrespect me and play no fucking Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion. I hate it here. Well, what are we doing? But it's so crazy to see myself up there like that. And so today I had that moment, you know, just watching myself, you know, in these videos. And I didn't even watch all the video. I posted them in my Instagram story, and I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't even watched the whole thing because I just felt so embarrassed. Like, dang, I was really on the stage going the fuck off. But I didn't say nothing wrong. I didn't say nothing crazy. And in fact, when I got off the stage, I got so many hugs and handshakes and eye-to-eye contact. Like, Queen, we needed that. We needed you to say it exactly the way the fuck you said it, too. Like, you know, because I live in the hood. You know, that performance was in the hood. Those was people that live out here where I live at. So, you know, the tone was for the place. But it just, I don't know. I got to do the shadow work on that, y'all. I don't know why I embarrass myself so much. And then when I see somebody else, peace, when I see somebody else pull up on the stage, it's like, I don't know. They don't trigger me like that, but I don't know. I don't know what that is. But those are different. That was just an example of what your third eye could do for you. On the masculine side, I love you too, Denny. I'm glad you're here. Thank you. On the masculine side of our third eye, we have Heru, which is the energy of will and courage and discipline and your upper and lower selves. We're dealing with the sixth sphere in the tree of life, which is maintained through coordination and balance, the celestial government and administration. For the fortune is over here on this side, and what the fortune is actually the intersecting lines of the sun's path, the moon's path, and I want to say the midheaven. So when those three lines intersect, we are at our fortune, and not midheaven, ascendant. I'm sorry. When those lines intersect, we get to our point of fortune, and this is our lucky space. And right now, of course, our lucky space is in the experiences that come from our third eye, and that makes sense. You know, you done built all these different things up in the feminine side of your third eye, really paying attention to your vulnerabilities and your primordial instincts and your primordial desires and the qualities you overlook in yourself, and you're expanding yourself, and you're getting back on page with your humanitarian pursuits and your Akashic records and why am I here and all those different things. And then on the outside of you just start experiencing fortune. You start experiencing your soul tribe, because that path of the moon brings you to your nodes, don't they? That's your soul tribe. That's your destiny. That's the energy that you traveling away from and you going towards, right? That's exciting. And then we also have the first house there too. So your experiences are also coming to your ascendant energy. It's also going to show in your physical body that you've been doing your homework. And it might show like in different ways. Like I see people start getting tattoos, hennas, their nails get done different, their hair is different. You know, I started relocking my hair so I could lock in this traumatic experience. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with me. My mind was just like, yeah, it's time to lock in your hair. Whatever knowledge you get during this experience, we gonna stay locked in and we down for life. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna lock it in. I'm locking all this knowledge, all this experience. That's why I've been warning people. Like, once I block you, that's it. You're not getting unblocked. I don't unblock people. I've never unblocked a person day in my life. Never. Except for my mother. I blocked her one time because she was in the hospital going in, and I had to block her while I was driving to the hospital to go see her because I wanted her to stop messaging me, telling me not to come. She's the only one that gets unblocked. Nobody else gets that. Nobody else gets that courtesy. I don't give a fuck who you is. But yeah, I don't know. But it's gonna show in your appearance in different ways. You know, you guys probably been changing the way you dress, the way you communicate, your word choice, you know, and people see it. People see the growth, and it's gonna do a couple things. It's gonna piss some people off. Some people gonna be, you know, upset and be like, "Who do you think you are to come around here?" You know, they're gonna make fun of you. Oh, you're an LLCer or a hotepper or you Muslim or whatever. They're gonna come whatever ignorant labels and titles they can come up with. I don't care. You don't care. We don't care. We don't care. Because when that feminine side of your third eye is in alignment, ain't shit they can do to the masculine side of the third eye but experience your experience. Because that's all you giving them space to do. You either gonna experience this experience I got for you, you're gonna get the fuck out my face. Because this experience is all you're gonna get. It's all I'm giving you space to have. It's all I'm giving myself space to have because this is what I want. We don't utilize that third chakra, right? That throat chakra. We used it. So, you know, once we get here, that's it. This is what you get. This is what we get. So let's pull a card for our third eye because that I like it there. I definitely gotta work on that vibe. Hey baby. Would you like to open Nintendo eShop and view the full version? What are you trying to get me to sign up for?
An awesome mini game where you're going on an adventure and you're trying to beat the Dark Lord. Who's stealing people's faces and putting them on monsters and making them attack you. There's weird and wonderful foods. I got my own horse now. And this is the demo. And now to continue, I need the full version.
Okay. Can you give me a couple minutes? Once I finish this, I'll call you and then we can figure that out. All right, thank you. So let's pull a card for the third eye. We got the Seven of Wands. So we're not here yet. And that's okay. We don't have to be here yet. I do want y'all to get here. So the seven is tapping in celestial energy, and as you know, that's like her mouth is binded. So we're not really. So we have to go back to our throat chakra. We have to go back to our throat chakra on this one, okay? So I want y'all to go back to your throat chakra. In fact, if you guys are viewing on YouTube, I'll even rewind. Woo-hoo. So let's go back to our throat chakra and work on that ambition from Mars. Work on that midheaven energy as far as your aspirations and your achievements. Like, what are you trying to do? What you want to do? And also know that we in retrograde with the throat chakra. So it's only time to speak. That's it. It's only time to say Shazam. Anything else you're trying to get out of Shazam is not time for that yet. We're still in the middle of winter, baby. It's okay. So, but I do want y'all to go back there because you have to go back there in order for you guys to move forward. Otherwise, you're going to keep being binded. And it's going to be kind of hard to manifest and materialize and get things going when you're binded. Especially if y'all walking into the fire energy, which is Aries energy, still binded. Y'all know Wands deals with fire. You know, we get to Aries before we get to Leo. So, you know, that's where we're hitting first. So you don't want to start Aries season off, you know, still, you know, trying to get your throat chakra in order, trying to get these things in spaces. And like I said, Mercury goes in retrograde tonight too, to remind y'all that we're still in winter time. In case y'all forgot, y'all getting excited with the sun, we getting excited with it. And it's okay to be excited. Don't get impatient. I know it's a line there. We want to try not to cross it. Take your time. Take your time with self. Self is like the most important thing to take your time with. Like, don't miss no corner. Why would you skip corners with self and then try to go outside and start making stuff and bringing stuff into your space and stuff? It's not going to work in your favor. I promise. It won't. It just doesn't. It won't work that way. It doesn't like to work that way. Now, for the crown chakra is the Sahasrara, and that's the 1,000-petal lotus, and it's located at the crown of your head. It rules over your consciousness, your thoughts, wisdom, awareness, connection to the universe, seeing beauty in all things, enlightenment and beauty. And if you guys tap into the YouTube page, you can see, you know, the vowels and the sounds and the hikals and all that stuff. And the crown chakra is ruled by the universe, so it's ruled by everything. You are the universe. All right, so now let's get into what the universe is doing. This photograph here is the sky view of the planets This sky view was taken in June, and this is proof as to why Earth is in retrograde. So this is a photograph of the sky taken in June, right? June 24th, I believe. And this is what the summer sky looks like. We had all of our planets in alignment. Now, when we go to, this is the sky December 24th. Our planets were back in alignment. This is how I know Earth is in retrograde. We are literally back in our midsummer sky. Are we all on the same page? Hope so. We're back into the same sky that we're in the summertime, around the middle of summer. And so with that being said, we came back to all of our planets being in alignment, from the sun, moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Uranus, Jupiter, Neptune, and Saturn. We're all in alignment with one another, and it was very nice to see. They went through, multiple constellations accordingly. And that was on Christmas Eve, which is another reason why, like, bro, why was we giving all of our energy to some Russian ancestor? Like, that's not our ancestor. And that goes for everybody, not just Aboriginals. Some of y'all are not Russian. Like, we didn't have to do that. Like, it's the reason why we're being so, like, socially guided into, like, celebrating these figures that they feed us during certain times of the year, where the cosmos are literally moving towards us, giving energy to ourselves, to our own ancestors. And like I said, you are literally all the deities. So you shouldn't be giving no energy or no altars to any deity outside of yourself. I don't have no deities on my altar. The only souls that I have on my altar are people in my life that I hold near and dear to my heart that passed away. And when it's their birthday, I feed them. When it's a holiday, and we eat together, and I talk with them sometimes. But to go to them for help and to answers, and I don't do nothing. I go to myself. I meditate. I go inward, and I look for that one voice inside of self. The voices in my head sound different. I don't know if y'all got the same voice for every voice in y'all head. I don't even know if y'all got more than one voice in your head. Y'all can judge me if y'all want to. I don't care. My Mars is in Gemini. I got many voices in my head. But, I got one voice that sounds a little different. And this voice sounds like Obatala. So this is my Obatala voice. This is the one I go to, and I'll be like, hey, Pop-Up. I got a question. I need an answer. What's up? Like, but that's going inside of me. I'm not going out to no altar with a bunch of deities and goddesses and orishas on it. I'm not doing all those things. If you want to do those things, are cool, but I'm here to let you know that you have the power. It's actually a blessing to them for you to even think their existence is a blessing to them. So just with that alone should show you and tell you that you should give energy to your own deities and your own ancestors and your own orishas or netarus, the ones that you actually want to give it to, instead of being coerced by society to give it to the people they say give it to. That motherfuckers don't even show up to your crib. Like, bro, I don't even have a chimney. That nigga don't even come see me. He's racist. Like, think about the time when Santa was even invented. Like, bro, that ain't got shit to do with me. Shoot. Like, that nigga don't like me. He's not coming to my house. So I just did all this shit for him just so he can exist at other people's houses. Fuck you. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. And I don't suggest any of you guys do that either. I really don't. I don't know anybody. I've never met anybody that was like, yeah, Santa is my ancestor. Like, I just never. And I'm not just talking about Aboriginals. I'm talking about people from all races. I've never seen it, never heard it. And I talk to people from different walks of life. So we can get into the weekly forecast. We're going to start off with we can start off with Monday, December 26th. We started off the week with a 10% waxing crescent moon. That moon rose at 10:25, and it's set at 8:37 p.m. The waxing crescent moon is the moon of regeneration. Positive changes take form at this time. This is the first phase after the new moon, and it's time to sort through confusing emotions, set your mind to goals, and manifest intentions in your mindset. The equation of time, which is the sundial minus the watch time, was 0. The sun would transit it at 11:59 p.m. So sundials showed the correct time all that day. Honestly, I feel like during that, I feel like the sundial was always right. It's the watch time that would be wrong, but that's because I'm backwards. The visibility of Earthshine on the moon began, and Venus is the longest distance to the sun at 10:09. Now, damn, that was all Christmas. That was December 25th. My bad. December 26th. We still had the waxing crescent moon, but now it's in Aquarian energy. So it's in that social detachment, activism type energy. The sun rose at 7:20 a.m. and is set at 4:40 p.m. The moon and Saturn were at minimal angle at 2:51 p.m. The moon was 4.7 degrees south southeast, and conjunction occurred at 9:52 a.m. with the moon 4.9 degrees south. That was observable at 5:21 p.m. with a 4.7 southeast separation. The moon and Deneb al-Jeldi was also in conjunction at 2:56 p.m. The moon was 3.5 degrees south. Minimum angle was at 6:43. The moon was 2.9 degrees south southeast, and that was observable at 5:21 p.m. with a 4.7 degrees southeast separation. So in the cosmos on that day, it was moon, then Deneb al-Jeldi, and then Saturn. So they had like a nice little triangle going on with Deneb al-Jeldi in the beginning, in the middle, I mean. And Deneb is a star in the Capricorn constellation. It's located at the tail of the goat. It has the energy of Saturn and Jupiter, which is like being dignified and pious and conservative. It also could be like a little bit of rigidity, but definitely like bringing manifestations from knowledge and wisdom and certain like generous energies being, brought to the forefront. So that was definitely a vibe yesterday, which makes sense. The day after Christmas, you go collect your last little bit of gifts from other people. The Ursids, which is a meteor shower, that also ended on the 26th. Now, December 27th, we had a 19% waxing crescent moon. The moon rose at 10:58 p.m. and is set at 9:53 p.m. We're still in Aquarius moon, bringing on that social rebellion and detachment and, just giving life, air is life. The sun rose at 7:20 a.m. and it set at 4:40 p.m. Teja posterior was opposite the sun yesterday at 4:20. And Teja posterior brings on the energy of Mercury and Venus. So it has that communication, energy, the energy of decision-making skills and knowledge and intellect, as well as the energy of, self-indulging. So it's kind of like that bougie. I like nice things and I'm very smart. So I feel like I deserve those nice things that I like because I know things. So I'm a big fan of those. I'm a big fan of Mercury, Venus energy combining. I love it here. But that also rules over your hands, your arms, and your shoulders. And that's the vibe of just like energy and protection, definitely. December 28th, the moon was at 29% waxing crescent moon. At 11:25 a.m., the moon rose. And at 11:04 p.m., the moon was set. We are in a Pisces moon. Pisces energy being the energy of the subconscious, of thoughts, of dreams, of your aspirations, just all the things that are past and intangible. The sun rose at 7:20 a.m. and the sun will set at 4:41 p.m. Mercury and Venus are minimal angle at 2:14 a.m. this morning. Mercury was 1.4 degrees north. Conjunction occurred at 4:05 a.m. Mercury was 1.4 degrees north, and that's observable at 5:34 p.m. with a 1.5 degree north-northeast separation. The moon and Neptune were also in conjunction today at 1:59 p.m. The moon was 3.9 degrees north, minimal angle at 7:33 p.m. tonight. The moon will be 3.1 degrees southeast. So if you guys, are able to catch that, that'd be fun. The activity of the quadrantids begin today too. They move at 120 an hour, which is fun. They're just as big as the Geminids meteor shower we just had. And I love how Wednesdays, I don't know if you guys noticed, but every Wednesday this month, Wednesday is the day of the week that's dedicated to Mercury, which is intellect and decision making and all that stuff. Every day it's been like, okay, Mercury's in retrograde. The Geminids, Mars is in retrograde. Like all these different things keep happening on Wednesdays in regards to Mercurian energy and enhancing intellect and all that stuff. And I love that because we are in the vibes of Tahuti. Even though the sun is in Capricorn, you know, zodiac is still in the Sagittarian constellation. So we still have those Tahuti vibes of wisdom and intellect and stuff. And it's just like so much and alignment has gone towards opening your eyes and mind to, you know, broadening yourself, broadening your education, providing some level of edification for yourself. So, you know, that meteor shower starts today too. And if you guys are on YouTube, you guys can see the visual right here in the first slide, the quadrantids, which is going to be coming from the foot of Hercules. So this meteor shower is between Hercules, Draco the dragon, and the Ursa Major constellation. It's literally smack dab in between. You probably see it between the northwest and north like horizon line somewhat. So it's not really mid sky, unfortunately. It's more so towards the horizon line. So I would suggest being around flat land to really see where the meteor is, you know, raining down from. In addition to that, what else is going on today? The moon and Jupiter will also be at minimal angle at 6:58 p.m. We're almost there. The moon is 2.5. The moon will be 2.7 degrees south-southeast. Conjunction will be at 5:33 a.m. The moon will be 2.9 degrees south. We'll be able to observe that at 10:48 p.m. with a 6.2 degrees southwest separation. If anybody, you know, has a telescope and wants to go outside and scope it. Mercury will be stationary at 11:21 p.m. So if you guys are up tonight, I would suggest start your meditation at 11 and just take it on out 11 to 12. Meditate to, you know, Mercury going stationary and going on retrograde, and just really think about, you know, just knowing that Mercury is in Capricorn right now and it's in the 5th house. So it's being led by your emotions and your inner child and creative self. And we're definitely in a space of materializing and manifesting the things that we communicate. You know, it's a beautiful time to just be thankful for that. Be thankful for the fact that Mercury is slowing down so we could really think about what we want to utilize our throat chakra for, and really take the time. It's really a space of like, yeah, enjoy the journey, you know. Stop thinking that you could say, hey, I wish I had this, and snap, and you're not enjoying the journey between this and the snap. You know what I mean? So that's what the space is really going to be about, enjoying the journey, knowing that, you know, the things that you have been speaking into existence, some of the things that you've been speaking into existence a long time ago might start to get heard around this time. Because there is a slowdown. If there's a slowdown, that means that other things are catching up. So, you know, it might be some things you said back then, once upon a time, you didn't really mean. Praying for you. December 29th, which is tomorrow, will be at a 40% waxing crescent moon at 11:49 a.m. There is no set time. We'll still be in the Pisces moon. So, you know, tapping into your subconscious and your dreams and your secrets and all that fun stuff is going to be fun stuff. The sun will rise at 7:20 a.m. and it will be setting at 4:42 p.m. We'll have the first quarter moon rising tomorrow at 8:21 p.m. So if you guys don't know, just because we start the day with a certain phase of moon, the moon isn't like, okay, I'm gonna be this phase for the whole night. Like that, the moon, everything is always moving and stuff like that. So we start the night off with the waxing crescent moon, but before the moon sets, it's gonna be a first quarter moon. The first quarter moon is the moon of caution. So this is a time to take action. You may be dealing with doubt and discouragement and hurt, you know, that might keep you from moving. It's going to be some energy that's going to make you feel like, dang, I shouldn't keep moving forward, or this is pointless, or this is fruitless, or, you know, it's going to be a lot of resistance. If you haven't already been feeling it for some of my air babies, a lot of my air babies live in the future, especially my Gemini placements. So a lot of you guys be feeling the placements of the planets maybe like 7 days before they even occur. So, you know, peace to you if you're already feeling this vibe. But, you know, some of you guys might start feeling that pushback, making you feel like, you know, it's not good. But understand that this is a part of the journey. You know, everything moves up and down, but while it's moving up and down, it's still moving forward. You know what I'm saying? Like the moon appears and disappears, but both times it's still on its path, whether you see it or not. You know what I'm saying? So have that mindset. You know, sometimes the moon is around very violent stars. Sometimes the moon is around them orangey yellow stars y'all be seeing. Y'all be like, oh, those are violent as fuck. Those are not fun stars. They don't know. Oh, you know, oh, them the stars that's making people get stabbed and shot and set on fire. Those are very aggressive stars in those Scorpio and Libra constellations. And y'all just awing at them. But you still see the sun, you still see the moon moving though. The moon is still moving forward. Like, you know what? Get me the fuck up out these claws, cuz I'm not finna. You know, if you haven't noticed, that's usually when the moon moves the fast. You gotta get up out of there, cuz. But you know, you gotta have that same type of diligence, especially in your moon energy, because I know sometimes, a lot of times, that moon energy can really, really get in the way. I know I'm a Virgo moon too. Not only am I a Virgo sun, I'm a Virgo moon. I really get in my own way. You just gotta have that mindset, you know, this gonna feel hard, it's gonna feel, you know, different. And then the first quarter moon is actually happening in Aries energy, so it's happening in the energy of new beginnings. So a lot of that pushback you think is working against you and making things a certain way that's making it difficult for you, but in reality it's really working in your favor. It's really putting certain pieces in place so that you have certain mind and body and soul muscle to get certain things done, to be able to withstand certain things. So that's cool too. The east side of the moon will also be tipped into view, so we'll be able to see the Mercury craters in the moon, and that's fun. Mars will also be 8 degrees north of Aldebaran around 5:40 p.m. Now, Aldebaran is a star. It's the brightest star in the Taurus constellation. It gives off the energy of Mars. So again, that's another like assertive energy type star. At the same token, it's a good star that's bringing in new beginnings. It just brings it in a very assertive, aggressive way, but also a very intellectual way if you're paying attention. If you're really good at seeing like the whole picture and not just like the parts of pictures that you want to see, you'll be able to see like, oh, this was smart. I see what you're doing here. So, you know, it's cool. I mean, that depends on, you know, how you want to take it. It's also a good time to pursue business. So if you have some contracts in order, you want to, you know, ready to get those done and, you know, different things like that. December 30th will be a good day to have those meetings, to have those conversations, to get those different things done. It's a good time to pursue business. It's also the beginning of large political undertakings, like when the Sirians took over Babylon, and when America took over Babylon, and when the Moors took over Babylon. Like, it's just like a lot of political undertakings have happened around, you know, around the Aldebaran star as well. And that'll be around 5:40 p.m. on December 30th. Twitter. December 31st is it's not much of an eventful day in the cosmos, aside from the alignments that we'll still be having, like still kind of in the sky with the planets. Sorry, over. So this is Moon and Neptune hanging out with their minimal angle separation, and that's going to be on Wednesday on the 28th. And then this one right here, oh yeah, the Sirius will be opposite the sun, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, so December 31st will be at a 61% waxing gibbous moon, and the waxing gibbous moon is the moon of ending. So we moved away from that moon of caution that had us feeling doubtful and stuff like that, because you learned that with positive thoughts, we learn that this shit is just a part of the journey. You're supposed to get on my nerves. That's a part of the whole thing. Where would I be at if you wasn't here getting on my fucking nerves? You know what I mean? You gotta think like that. And then we get into the waxing gibbous moon, which, you know, once you get past that, you're going to start seeing results, but you're not done. Don't get it to it. You're not totally done. It's just enough to say, hey, you got past those moments of discouragement. Let me give you a little apple. Okay. You'll start to get tangible results and you'll feel achievements, but keep moving forward. You know, you had your down. This is your up. Both times move forward. That's the vibes of this moon. And that's still going to be an Aries energy, so it's still going to be like in an assertive way. So for some of you guys might not, again, like it might be difficult for you to see the big picture because you're probably still over there, you know, wrapping up your wounds from the first quarter. But understand both energies were still moving in your favor for that big picture that you're over here utilizing that throat chakra and Capricorn energy to manifest your You're welcome. January 1st, January 1st is when it gets fun. We're at the 71% waxing gibbous moon. The moon will rise at 1:01 p.m. and it's going to set at 2:25 a.m. We are in the Taurus zodiac with the moon. The sun will rise at 7:21 a.m. and the sun will set at 4:44 p.m. There will be a AM visibility of the moon. Sirius will also be opposite the sun, and that's what you guys can find in this slide over here. Sirius being opposite the sun in the Canis Major constellation. In addition to that, the moon will also be an ascending node. The moon and Uranus will be conjunction at 3:58 p.m. The moon will be 1 degree south. Minimal angle will occur at 4:16 p.m. The moon will be 0.1 degree east-northeast. Occultation will take place at that time too. So occultation is kind of like an eclipse, if you will, but it's with the moon and Uranus, so they call it occultation instead. And you'll be able to observe that at 5:46 p.m. with a 0.8 degree east-northeast separation. Comet C-2022E3 will be north of Corona Borealis, and it'll keep moving north. And I believe I have the slide. And that's a comet. That's the moon and Uranus. They're going to be on top of each other, living their best life. I do not have a slide of it, and that's okay. But that's what's happening. So January 2nd will be at 79% in the waxing gibbous moon. The moon will rise at 1:30 p.m. and it'll be setting at 3:30 a.m. We will be in the Taurus zodiac. The sun will rise at 7:21 a.m. and it's going to set at 4:45 p.m. Mercury will be the smallest distance to the sun, and the moon and Pleiades will be in conjunction at 9:05 p.m. The moon is 2.9 degrees south. Minimal angle will occur at 11:32 p.m. where the moon will be 2.7 degrees south-southeast. So this is the moon in conjunction and minimal angle with Pleiades, and Pleiades is a star cluster in the Taurus constellation, and what it does is it brings off the EMF of wounds and healing from those wounds and sorrows and things like that. So if you're still trying to like heal yourself from the first quarter moon and all this stuff like that, that's definitely a vibe to tap into to do so. January 3rd, we're at the 87% waxing gibbous moon still. The moon will rise at 2:03 p.m. and it will set at 4:34 a.m. And now we're in the Gemini zodiac with that moon. The sun will rise at 7:21 a.m. and it's going to set at 4:46 p.m. Pallas will be opposite the sun at 8:33 a.m. which is the best visibility. Yeah. So with Pallas being opposite the sun, it's at its brightest, and like we talked about before, Pallas is like your overlooked genius qualities, the things you're not really paying attention to yourself. So those might come on the forefront, whether you'll be put in different situations or experiences where those qualities are going to be useful, be put on the spotlight, or come to a certain realization of self. But that's what's happening. The moon and Mars will be in conjunction at 1:25 p.m. The moon will be 1.4 degrees south. Minimal angle will be at 2:13 p.m. The moon will be 1.3 degrees south-southeast, and we'll be able to observe that at 5:13 p.m. with a 2 degree east-southeast separation. So the moon has just been the moon is just going through the elliptical and just aligning with all the planets as it goes through, and then eventually it'll be back aligned again. And then the moon Aldebaran will be in conjunction at 6:56 p.m. The moon will be 7.6 degrees north. So Aldebaran again is the brightest star in the Taurus constellation. It's in the eye of Mars. So it kind of bounces back between the Mars and Aldebaran star. So that's fun. And that's what I have for you guys leading up to January 3rd. And if you made it to the end of this slide, you get to the code. You can use this code at checkout on my website, letsnobodiescollection.com, to receive $11 off of any products, services, or anything on my website. Right now, I have 45-minute consultations for $33. With this code, it'll be $22. I do have pieces on my website are $11. If you use this code, it'll take the $11 off. You're literally only paying for shipping and handling. Those are just different kind of like things that I have up there. I believe a 3-card spread is like $22, so you can get a 3-card spread for 11. But yeah, that's pretty much what I have going on. That's what's going on in stars. That's what's going on down here with us, and those are the different things you can expect. Just giving you guys like a little, jump ahead. The full moon will be on Friday, January 6th. It'll be a Cancer full moon, which is fun. So last year, or the beginning of this year, our Cancer moon was the 2/2/22 on a Tuesday. That was also the Lunar New Year, and that was a full moon on Cancer. So I'm very interested on what our first Cancer moon of 2/23 is going to be like, because the Cancer moon is, whew, that's a big one. Excuse me. It'll also be the latest sunrise of the year next Wednesday. Pluto. Oh yeah, did we speak about Pluto being in Capricorn energy from January 26, 2008, when we had Obama, in presidency, creating that level of transformation and authority rules, and Pluto will be in that zodiac energy until April 20th, 2024. So we have a couple more years of that transformation energy and that root chakra itself, that root chakra in our country, that root chakra in our, you know, in our universe. So, it's a bit of a responsibility. Like, what are we, we're in the last few years of providing some level of transformation and empowerment to the root chakra of the plane that we live on. We live in America, feel how you want to feel about it. But what is your contribution? How are you providing transformation to the root chakra of the land that we live in? How are you providing empowerment? How are you, are you assisting in creating the balance that needs to be balanced out between this realm and the next realm? All those different things. Those are questions you can ask yourself as far as your contribution to society with this placement. Also, Pluto will dip its little baby toe into Aquarian energy on March 23rd, 2023. I knew that was a good day. That's also when that Keanu Reeves movie comes out. So that's a good day. Virgos be knowing. Did y'all know Keanu Reeves was a Virgo? And then Pluto will also dip its toe right back into Aquarian energy again on November 19th, 2024. Which is usually, what is that, like election day, or when they announce who wins the presidential election. So expect some type of transformation, and I don't know what to expect. I'm not a predictive person. I don't want to predict stuff and then y'all be like, it didn't even happen. But it's definitely gonna be like a big transformation in that space and time. And like I be trying to tell y'all, like, very rich people use astrologers. They have their own personal astrologer. Politicians have their own personal astrologer. A lot of these dates aligning up with political happenings is not by accident at all. It's very strategic and very intentional. So if you want to learn about what the politicians are doing, what they have in store and stuff like that, show up. I'm getting better with showing up, but you can show up. Uranus is also, going to be in Taurus. It has been in Taurus since March 15, 2019, which we talked about. That's when we've seen the progressive change in our money and how we socialize and how, our self-esteem and how we empower each other and empower ourselves, blah, 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 because that's when quarantine started. The pinnacles changed. We have like over 1,000 different kind of cryptocurrencies when people aren't really trying to use money anymore. And now there's transformation even in that. It's like every time, we make something, the government makes an equal opposite energy. So it's just been a lot of back and forth. And now the IRS is involved. They done pulled out the big guns on us. So now we got to pull out even bigger guns. So, y'all keep moving how y'all moving. Like, don't let these motherfuckers win. This energy will keep going until April 26, 2026. So we have more energy in this tug of war with that progressive change happening in that Taurian energy of wealth and finances. And that concludes the planetary forecast. Now, did anybody want a tarot card pull for them while I'm sitting here? I'll give you guys a few seconds to comment in the comment section if you would like a tarot card pulled out. If not, I'm going to close out with some wonderful trailers from Less Nobodies, and that'll be it. All right, peace, y'all.
We sit with him and rest.
We rank, we claim, we train, we ordain to be something different. We rank, we claim, we train, we ordain to manifest intentions. Created in God's own image, reflections of eternal vision. Personified with my third eye, hidden from enemies on a mission. That's why I fear no evil. They bow down to my ego. Shout out, nobody's called me go. Got my heart full of calm and ego. 50 shades of letting me go. Coming through into Docito. Brand new from the gray skies, blue 6-3, not abused, my view bonito. So gracious, this time and space, how I made it. We jump for joy, we elated. Discipline with 50 gates and roof shot the grounded, nothing taken except what's my creation. Created, then donated. The culture's inflated, giving elevation and space is stagnated. Cause we healers over here. Breathing pillars, holding tears. Instilling us all 10 spheres. Inshallah, we attracting our mirrors. In our hearts, we blocking all interference. No new IDs is needed for clearance. Cause the mission reflect our attention and let it rain on through our appearance.